And it's all positive. There's a coloring book that goes with it. It's a positive story. I didn't want it to be negative because this goes to kids, and I want to produce a positive story and change the narrative. So it was hard for me finding events to go be a vendor at. And I was going on Instagram. I was always part of the car culture, but it was going on Instagram and looking for events. They were scattered all over the place. They were here, they were there. And I wanted to find something that kind of put the community together in order. If I'm going to Vegas, I'm going to type in the dates I'm going to go, and I can see if there's any events going on that I care about. Because you can't Google our community events. You won't find them. So I developed a website and an app where people, like, for example, if you guys are having an event, you go to Blvd Connect, you sign up, you add your event to the website, and now it will be there by date and by location.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's really good to know.
Yeah, you can sell your lowrider there. You could find vendors that are in our community. You could what else can you do?
Kind of like an Angie's List, but for connecting and networking and using resources amongst each other.
Exactly, for our community. And I noticed there was nothing like that, so I created it. And now a lot like the dude from
Sick.
Yeah,
from
he
the
was
Sick
like, dude,
meetups.
I know about Blvd Connect. I remember when you
That's
launched
so
it.
cool.
When I hear that, I was like, wow, that's really cool. It's the community is using it.
Exactly. Yeah, I even saw Rick from Records and Rides, and he was so happy because that event that they were doing, which actually unfortunately got canceled. It was an event they were having yesterday. But nevertheless, it was on Blvd Connect app as well, and so big shout out to the folks, Records and Rides, because again, like you start seeing like the community come together through this app. And what was like kind of like for you, like really like the purpose of it, but also like how do you see it evolving? Because these things evolve too,
Yeah, exactly. You know what? It just started out as me being frustrated, trying. Businesses are always formed because of a need. There's a frustration. It's like I wish there was. That's a business idea, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to find a way to bring the community together easier, and not just in LA. But the whole United States.
Why not?
Like if I'm going to Orlando, I don't know of anybody on Instagram to follow, and if I'm in Orlando and I want to see what the car scene looks like, or any type of Chicano community event, or any type of event that I want to go to, that I find important to myself, that I want to be able to go on an app and see it there.
Yeah.
And there you go.
It's like one source, for it, instead of, like you said, like having to like scroll around,
Exactly. I mean, now there's events on there from Orlando, Miami, New York. New York is solo homies. They're using it, things like that. There's a lot of car clubs all over the country that are using Blvd Connect.
Yeah, and how is that for you?
So
just
cool.
seeing it, right? Like from like vision to actually execution and actually seeing it out there now and people using it.
It is an awesome feeling. It's really cool to put something and seeing people use it. It's
awesome.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
And it's benefiting people. Because people are now finding events that normally they wouldn't have known about. Because they maybe just follow one person on Instagram. Now you have
it's like
the
a whole gamut.
The whole gamut. It's all there. The whole country's there now.
That's awesome.
And now in December, somebody posted an event in Japan. So now we've gone international.
No, because the Chicano car culture in Japan is like has been always popping off.
Oh yeah.
So that's really, really cool that connection has been made.
It has. And you know what's funny is just a couple days ago, I noticed somebody, I guess, went to the Japan show and they took a picture with somebody at some sushi restaurant with Cholo and Lolo.
No
way! Somebody was like, "Oh, Cholo's in Japan."
Hey, you're gonna have to make.
I love that.
Hey, you're gonna have to
cool.
make Cholo bilingual, trilingual, and I have to say some Japanese words. Like konnichiwa, fool.
That'd be awesome.
Sarigato, fool. You gotta figure that out with the Japanese culture, but you know what I mean?
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, Michael. And the other thing that I wanted to also talk to you about, of course, is and I want to give a big shout out to Elvira. Big ol' E. I know you're listening out there. I hope you're good, girl.
We love you.
Good old Elvira Zamora from not only Thrifts, but Chicano Elegance. And, as we were brainstorming, this particular event that you're going to talk about with Elvira, and now we're here to actually talk about it. So let's talk about this concept, this idea that as of right now is scheduled for February 2nd.
February 2nd.
And tell us a little bit more about that, Michael.
Yeah, so we got a free event.
Yeah.
A free educational event going down February 2nd at the Pineapple Hill. And it's 21 and over, unfortunately, because it has a bar. It's at an outdoor patio.
Sorry, interns can't go.
Yeah, sorry.
Not for this one.
Few years.
It's pretty much an event to help our community. And we were just talking about this earlier. Help our people in our community how to maximize their profits, minimize their tax burden, stop tipping the IRS, and teaching them about generational wealth, accumulating wealth, and stop handing over your money to the IRS. There are legal ways to do it, and that's what all these corporations are doing, but they don't teach that in schools.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
They do not teach that, especially in our communities. So we are going to have attorneys, we're going to have CPAs professionals, we're going to have wealth managers at this event, basically giving you free knowledge on how to keep most of your profit, most of your and the tax code was not set up for worker bees. They weren't set up for employees. So if you go to work 9 to 5 or any type of hours and you get a paycheck from a corporation or a company, guess what? That tax code is not set up for you. It's set up for business owners, whether you're a corporation, whether you're LLC. You have to learn how to structure that to offset those taxes from your if you have a side hustle,
right?
Then
you need some of this information. You need education, to turn that education into action too.
Financial education.
Yeah, it's so important.
Can I ask you where this passion comes from, and how did these conversations even start up? Because I know Elvira from other work that we've done through Valley Views, and so I know her purpose with the Chicano community, but how did these conversations start up, and where did the idea for this event come from?
We've spoken about it a lot. We spoke about I love talking about financials. I'm a sponge. And I like hanging out with people who are smarter than me. That's my goal in life, to hang out with people who are smarter than me, because I like to learn from them. So we talk about financial literacy all the time, about businesses, about write-offs, and we just got into talking about how our community does not know. And, we have a lot of I'm first generation, and we have a lot of immigrant parents, grandparents that come to this country. They don't know about trust. They don't, they just think, oh, well, I'm just going to give my kids my house. Well, now you just put a very heavy tax burden on your kids. Where if they don't have a job and they're just sitting on their ass, they're going to have to sell that house to pay the taxes. And then they're going to go blow that money off.
Exactly. And I think the other thing is, when part of the conversations I had with Elvira too, and, big shout out for her for really creating this too. And it was, she's just kind of tired sometimes. Let's say sometimes you go to a convention or some workshops, and it's kind of there. You kind of get some of the knowledge, but it's not very personal. And maybe it's there's no follow up. You might just be there, kind of try to obtain as much info as you can, and then you leave. You get kind of pumped up, but then the further away you get from these events, the energy dissipates.
Absolutely.
So
you leave all motivated.
And Elvira was like, nah, I want this event to be something where you don't just leave motivated, but you also not just get the knowledge, but you have now access to these folks. So set up a meeting right there. And get that person's contact. You're not gonna be able to get all that the trust done there, but now you have people that you can literally schedule and on the spot kind of create a follow-up meeting already. And so that was kind of Elvira's big time vision. So when she told me about that, I was like, I'm in, girl, because this is so important for our community to know, and to not just to know, but to know that the resources is the people, and people that have this, like you said, that have education and have the knowledge, pass it on.
Yes,
and
exactly.
it's great to see individuals in the community who are already trailblazers in their own craft kind of step into these roles and come together, right? Because it's car culture. Elvira does, it's Hector's doing radio, media, and so seeing all these trailblazers come in and create space for the younger generation, myself, Blazer, Miranda, all these other individuals that can step in and learn from you guys and not have to kind of go through those burdens on our own. I think that's amazing, you know, and it's super beneficial because I've been a part of those. I share that experience with Elvira. Like, I have tried to learn financial literacy on my own, and I've joined clubs, I've joined, you know, but a lot of them have an ulterior motive.
Yeah,
and
buy my book.
Or they're trying to reel you in to, like, do more with financial literacy when sometimes all you really want is a resource to build your business.
This isn't
step
like
by
a
step guide.
And so,
not a pyramid scheme.
Not a pyramid, exactly. Without trying to say those words. But it's nice to know that that's going to be accessible within community. You know?
And Michael, talk about this then too, like the vision, right? Let's talk about, so like, let's say you're a person listening and you're like, you know what, I want to go to this event, right? February 2nd, right? And kind of like walk us through like what could that experience look like, you know?
Well, I mean, look, if you don't know anything about the tax code, you don't know, you know, I always say, if you have a CPA, this is what I always say, is like, if you're paying like $200 to hand over your information to a CPA, and they don't ask you any questions, like, all right, great, we'll turn it in, you'll get a refund, or you'll get a bill in a week or something like that. That CPA is not working for you. Yeah. They're working for the IRS. They're just taking your information. All right, good. Write a check to the IRS. There you go. But and I always say, you get what you pay for. Like, I spent a good amount of money on my CPA because I want that CPA to watch my back. I want that, not in the sense of doing anything illegal. I want them to be able to say,
just the best interest.
Are you doing this because you can save X amount over here? You can save X amount over here. You have to structure it this way so you can maximize your profit here. You know, and legally, you know, I don't want anybody, I don't want the IRS knocking on my door, but I mean, there are ways to do this, and a lot of people in our community do not know. So if you have a CPA who's just taking your money and turning your information in, they're not working for you. I want a CPA that's going to ask me questions. I want a CPA that's going to be like, where's this? Where's that? This is how we're going to structure this. I want somebody who's watching my back. And that's what I mean by saying I want to hang out with people who are smarter than me. But I also learn from them, you know, because that's how I'm going to get better. You know, and I teach my kids that. I'm like, now you're doing this. Let's try to do this to maximize your profits here. You know, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning, but I love learning this stuff.
Exactly. You know? And just knowing like how many financial tools there are out there that could benefit you, benefit like your you know, generational wealth, but then also like making sure you leave things set up in a certain way, structured. Because look, end of the day, we're all gonna pass, you know, and so like we have to make sure that we leave things in a way that will make like that transition of grieving, like you know, like a moment where you could just grieve and not have to deal with all these other layers of like financial kind of like crises, because that happens, you know. Look, we see that all the time, you know.
We like where we live right now, mostly Latinos, and they own these homes. And what are they going to do? They're going to will their homes over to their kids, right? That is the worst thing they can do, because now the kids are going to have a financial burden, a tax financial burden. But how do you minimize that? You put it in a trust. You put it in a trust, and you will minimize your tax burden. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. We were just having this conversation. Your dad didn't understand that, right?
Nope.
And he ended up passing away, unfortunately. And now you guys are dealing with probate, court. People not wanting to do the same thing and prolonging the process. And now that has cost you time, money, and energy.
Exactly.
And that
and stress, mental health.
Exactly.
And like a strain on the relationships within your own family, you know?
Exactly.
And if he would have had a trust set up,
all of that would have been taken care of.
All of that would have been taken care of.
And by the way, like, you know, and again, I'm not a financial expert, but I'm only just talking from just my own experience. You know, another reason why it's also good to look into, like, you know, with an attorney, look at a trust is for your properties and things of that sort, is because also, let's say if you are going through some type, you or your family, medical health issues, you know, and you apply for Medi-Cal or, you know, Medicare, those agencies, by the way, and it's all legal too, they have a reimbursement department, all right? And what happens is, after they keep track of every single cent that they have spent on you, or the person, you know, getting those benefits, and when those folks pass away,
I want my money.
That reimbursement department is activated, and they'll go after your funds.
Yeah,
go
after it.
But and again, talk to the experts on this. But if you have it in a trust, they can't touch the trust. You know, so it's just like again, I think this is the type of information that is very important because this could affect a lot of folks, and it could seem like it comes out of left field because we just didn't have the knowledge.
We did not have the knowledge.
It's a level of protection that is not taught to us because it's not meant for us to use or to 100%. Or to
It is not meant for us to use. Yeah. But the knowledge, the information is there. We just have to have we just need to know it.
Yeah.
And we have access to it.
But the thing is that we have now individuals like yourselves who are actively, I mean, we've had individuals, right? But like, again, there's always been these ulterior motives. And it's something that is so big in our communities, the pyramid schemes, right?
Yeah.
The pyramid schemes that are around financial literacy, that are around all of this, it's the same thing that goes into like the solar panels. Like our community has been taken advantage of in the most vulnerable states. Yeah. And so this is one of those. Yeah. And again, just
like having like the trust, you know, and like and it's just such a bummer because sometimes it's just a bad few apples, you know, that kind of like that ruin the trust.
But
you
this
know,
is a way to rebuild that trust amongst community and like we were talking about this with Congresswoman Luz Rivas yesterday. Is like tackling that misinformation, and that is across so many boards. It's not just like misinformation about, we were talking specifically about immigration, but there's some misinformation when it comes to financial literacy as well. And so again,
like you said, surround yourself with smart people, you know, that are smarter than you, and learn but also like ask questions, so like you know, get that trustworthy information. And go ahead, Michael. And then after that, we will have to transition over to the words of wisdom, because up next, y'all, at 12 o'clock, we got the Valley Views youngsters getting ready for their show as well.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Michael, finish this thought, and then we got words of wisdom for you.
Oh, you know, there's one thing. You know, I'm always at events, and I talk to people that have lowriders. Yeah. You know, and I ask them, well, like, what do you do with your lowrider? Like, I just cruise it. I'm like, well, what do you do with it? Do you turn it into a business? Oh, you know, I do photo shoots. Do they pay you? Yeah. I'm like, your car's now a business. Yep. And every single dollar you put into your car, whether it's gas, insurance, even storing your car in your garage, it's all a write-off. And you're losing out on money. You're giving your money away to the IRS. You can turn your car into a business, which you already have, your passion, turn it into a business, and maximize your write-offs. So that's what we're going to be teaching on February 2nd at the Pineapple Hill Express. Pineapple Hill, not Express. Pineapple Hill.
I like that movie.
And it's a free event. It's a free event. No Arterial Motors, just trying to give our community knowledge.
And we're not 100 yet, but Blazerk and I have been talking about this. We might potentially, I just want to put it out there because, you know, it's like, why not? But even potentially run a live show. Special show from the event on February 2nd once again. So look out for that. We're working on the you know, like the logistics for that as well. But we're just happy that you're here, Michael, with us. And the last thing here that we're going to do with you is we're going to talk about words of wisdom, Michael. So you already dropped so many gems, so many diamonds here today. But with that said, Michael Lopez, tell us a little bit about what are some words of wisdom that you want to leave our listening audience with.
Man, you know, one, surround yourself with smarter people, because you're always the average of those people. You know, you're always the average of those people. Do not give your kids phones. Do not give your kids phones with the internet or social media, because they're gonna grow up to be punks. What else? And God, you know what? Wake up early.
There it is.
Get your stuff done early in the morning. You know, that's what I like to do. I go to bed by 9:30. I wake up by 5.
There it is. Thank you, Michael. So once again, we've had the one and only, y'all, Michael Lopez up in the house from Boulevard Connect, Cholo on a Lolo. We'll catch you on February 2nd, along with Elvira and community. And just want to also just highlight once again our resources. You know, there are all kinds of resources for the wildfire. And, you know, another one is, you know, LADWP. And we're going to try to get that from Congressman Luz Rivas, or just do the research ourselves. There is some program through LADWP in case you were like your food and perishable items were pretty much gone and lost during the time of the wildfires, like when there was no electricity. There is a program, so we're going to look for that and put it up as well so that you guys have some more information. There's also the LA City Notify LA alerts that'll give you all kinds of local emergencies and life-saving warnings as well. That's called Notify LA. And then to report any downed trees or other non-life-threatening hazards, you may contact My LA 311 by calling 311 or 213-473-3231. Again, that's My LA 311. So with that said, y'all, we're going to go ahead and take a quick short musical break. And up next at 12 o'clock, we have the one and only, y'all, our Valley View youth interns with their show, Valley View Youngsters. We're going to go ahead and take a short musical break here on KROJ 101.5 FM, Valley Views, y'all.
Bye, guys.